Jon, Anik, and Kenny Florian Podcast. Jon, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
I fucking love them. I can't get enough of them.
Let's hear that Boston next.
Big jab there from Duffy, and Frank Mir is hurt now. Down goes Duffy, out cold. Frank Mir does it again. Rock'em sock'em robots here. Oh my goodness. Hyperbole.
There are a couple of absolutely self-involved bullshit artists.
Here are your hosts, Jon, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
Some listeners want us to go back to the Boston Garden rap. I'm a little torn. I think we might actually make that change. We try to be listener first, even though I know some listeners and viewers don't think we are that in totality these days. Happy Monday to you. I'm in Las Vegas. Can't tell you why I'm out here so early. We're going Sunday to Sunday this week, but it's great to be with everybody. It is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. It is episode 585 of the Anik Florian Podcast, powered by All the Smoke Fight. Thank you all for subscribing to the Anik Florian Podcast YouTube channel. Now the primary home of this show, again, for the first time in 5 years. We also humbly ask you to subscribe to the All the Smoke Fight YouTube channel as well. How was your weekend, kid? How was your weekend?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Did a little shooting, a little competition, watched some fights, hung out with the family. It was good. How about you?
I was going to ask if you did any competitive shooting. How'd that go?
I did. Wasn't it great? I experimented with some stuff, John, and didn't go so well. But had a good practice session, and we're back. We're back.
So you got that padded jiu-jitsu room in your home. Are you practicing? How's your back? Are you actively practicing jiu-jitsu these days?
Back is much better. I'm probably still a month away from playing around with grappling. I've been doing some physical therapy, trying to get the back healthy. It's been feeling so much better, dude. So thank you for asking. Hopefully in a month, I'll be back on the mats, man, trying it out.
All right, a lot to get into today. So many mixed martial arts headlines since we all last convened. So we will get into all of the big news. It is 7:33 a.m. Pacific. So we have kindly asked Ray Longo to answer the bell for 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll see what he looks and sounds like. We also will get you some extensive picks on UFC 326. And we'll also talk to MattyBets here coming up in a little bit. A very exciting segment coming to the Anik Florian Podcast. But a lot to get into on the UFC front. So to that end, let us get to headlines.
Headlines.
It's time for headlines.
I have some very urgent and important breaking news.
Headlines.
On the Jon, Anik, and Kenny Florian Podcast.
They calling for it. The fans are calling for it. Smith & Wesson, one of my favorite hip-hop groups, right? There's this live version of the song Recognize, right? All heads realize, recognize, right? Look it up. Outstanding. Spelled with a W-R, by the way. So yes. The live version of Recognize, right? They're live performing, and one of the members of the group says, they calling for it, right? They calling for it because some fans like, recognize. We want recognize. They calling for it. They calling for Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. You've been calling for it for a long time. The ground is shaking. The rumor mill is swirling. The rumblings are that could be the headliner at the White House come Sunday, June 14th. Alex Pereira has vacated the UFC's undisputed light heavyweight title. That belt will be contested in Miami on April 11th. More on that in a second. But if you're talking about striking while the proverbial iron is hot, Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira seems like it could be in the works.
This is what I'm talking about, man. For the UFC, they want to make the biggest fight possible, especially for an historic card like this one coming up. And, Jon Jones has been calling for it. I think for him, he wanted to face the biggest star out there that makes sense for him, who's in and around his weight class. And I think for Jon Jones, he wants that weight class to be at heavyweight. He, of course, is the current world champion in that division. And Alex Pereira is one of those guys who deserves that shot because he is a massive, massive star. And, with everything he has done in the UFC, how he's come up big, how he's been an active fighter for them, now going up yet another weight class, his third weight class in the UFC. I think that's the fight to make. And man, do I hope that happens.
It wouldn't necessarily be for the undisputed UFC heavyweight championship unless they can somehow get Tom Aspinall to vacate, potentially for a fee, right? I guess there are rumblings, and again, you can lean into this stuff or not, but that maybe he would want to be released if asked to vacate the title. Now, it is hard to be a professional athlete. I've always said it's really hard to be an elite fighter and deal with some of the things that happen. Like if you are Tom Aspinall and you sort of see this fight and the manifestation, right? Your inner monologue at some point, depending on your relative mental toughness, right, has to be like, what in the actual fuck is going on here, man? Like Jon Jones and Alex Pereira going to fight at the White House. Now, you need an American angle, I believe. It seems as though President Trump is not that he's wielding power, right, but that he is part of the conversation when it comes to the fights that are going to happen. So Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, for example, with respect to Justin Gaethje, doesn't make a lot of White House sense. Justin Gaethje has been stars and stripes extended from day one with the flag, right? So that makes sense. But Jon Jones is the greatest American MMA fighter of all time, and you just can't do better than that for the White House. So we'll see what happens, Kenny, but a lot to digest for sure, huh?
Yeah, it seems like the stars are aligning, man. And again, with Aspinall on the sidelines, you got to feel for him. But in some ways, you wonder, is the UFC doing this kind of to kind of mess with Aspinall a little bit at this point? No. They say timing is everything, but it is certainly not on the side of Aspinall, unfortunately for him. But again, this is the one that Jon Jones has been calling for. Pereira wants this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to put together a fight like this. And again, I really hope it happens, man. This would be huge.
So Jon Jones was doing an appearance of some kind, and he said, I believe, something to the effect of he was in negotiations with the UFC for the White House live event. Now, if I were to lean into my conversation with him 10 or so days ago at a Houston airport, he was of an appetitive nature to come on the Anik Florian podcast, right? And I don't think that's because of our vast audience per se, right? He wanted to come on this program. So if I were to lean in to his mannerisms and his demeanor on that day, it felt like he had an energy about him that he was potentially going to be getting ready for a fight, and that is very exciting. How would you handicap a fight between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira? Now, in terms of the betting line, certainly Jon would not be as prohibitively favored as, say, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje, but how would you handicap that fight?
Yeah, so let's see. I'm not so great at this. Minus 230.
I don't care about the line. I care more about how you see it going down.
Okay, gotcha. Literally.
But I guess that's a lens into how you think. If you say minus 230 instead of minus 500.
Yeah, I think a minus 230 for Jon Jones, right around there. Again, there has been rumors about maybe his hip not being great and all that stuff, and he's kind of been in and out and all that stuff. But the way that he matches up against Pereira, an elite striker, and Jon Jones having, amazing takedown and control ability. And of course, we know about his length and his ability to strike with even the elite strikers out there. I would think it'd be right around that number. And I think that, Jones probably wants this matchup for a reason as well. I think he believes he matches up really well against Pereira. But Alex is one of those guys that has been training consistently. He's been competing consistently. He's been bringing guys in. He's been traveling all over the world, training with all different types of fighters in preparation for something big anyway. And I think he realizes that it could potentially be against Jon Jones, and you got to believe he is going to come in 100% prepared. He doesn't just want a payday. Pereira wants to go in there and win and knock out the guy that's in front of him.
Appreciate everybody being with us live on the Anik Florian Podcast here on a Monday on YouTube or wherever you are taking this thing in. We also haven't talked about Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey, 5 rounds of mixed martial arts. So potentially, time permitting, we will get into that later. So what does this mean for the light heavyweight division? Jiri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg will compete for the soon-to-be vacant UFC light heavyweight championship. Jiri Prochazka has 8 UFC fights. 3 of them have been for the world title. Carlos Ulberg is certainly worthy. His last combination certainly punctuated his winning streak. Fascinating fight to headline Miami championship doubleheader there at Kaseya Center. Ken Flo, your thoughts on how this expedited news impacts the light heavyweight division and the impending title fight?
I think it's a fantastic fight, and I think that it kind of further, I guess, validates why Pereira wants to go up to heavyweight as well. You know, I think that he's got a lot to lose facing a guy like Ulberg. Yeah, there it is. There it is. John putting on the Prochazka bandana. I love it. Already facing, have already faced Prochazka a couple times. And I think the Prochazka fight, Prochazka-Ulberg fight makes a lot of sense. Both those guys are extremely aggressive, very good strikers, very different styles as well. So I was happy to see that. I think Ulberg deserves it, no question about it. And Prochazka, with everything he's done as of late, and just his personality and charisma, I think he should be in there as well. So I think it's going to be an awesome fight.
Let's go for that.
Let's go for that.
Let's go for that. Jiri Prochazka is a promoter's dream. So we talk a lot about Khamzat Chimaev, and yes, my thesis statement has been that Khamzat is the most electrifying force in the game. The captivation with Khamzat, he's so compelling. I don't have to tell you this when he sort of squats down in the octagon or has carte blanche to jump on top of the octagon before the fight begins. Jiri Prochazka, Kenny, has this magneticism that is undeniable, this connection with UFC fans. Certainly Carlos Ulberg is a tremendous fighter, looks the part, looks like he could be a world champion. But there are myriad reasons why Prochazka keeps getting opportunities. You can look at the current winning streak with Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree Jr., but, right, like, look at me. I'm an MMA fan, right? I'm sitting here at 7:43 in the morning, like I'm 12 years old with my Let's Go For That BJP headband on. I just think Prochazka brings him in, man, and excited to see what he can do now. It'll be 4 title fights in 9 UFC appearances for Jiri.
Yeah, and I think Prochazka has improved as a fighter without being, without losing his offensive style. And I think that is rare, to get better defensively, but also continue moving forward and pressuring and looking for the knockout, I think is rare in this sport. And you look at the way that he fights, he does not know how to fight any other way. He's going to be right in your face. He's looking to finish at all times. Ulberg, obviously a tremendous striker, both offensively and defensively. I think this has the makings for a war, for sure.
So many mixed martial arts headlines that we will get into, including Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, but I want to live in a few other things that happened over the weekend, Ken Flo. So when Carlos Prates was sort of hinting at a big fight, I thought maybe they were thinking Conor McGregor, right? And I was wrong. I knew, having been with Carlos in Australia, that the Jack Della Maddalena fight was sort of vibrating, we'll get back to that in a minute, but now joining us on the guest line, as promised, they don't call him Matty Ice because he's never cold, folks. He is the majority owner of Home of Fight and all things associated with the Home of Fight brand. MattyBets is with us. Can we call you Matt Betts? We were talking Mateus Betts, Matthew Betts, MattyBets. It's great to see you, buddy. How we doing?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Well, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on your rise. I know we have a specific area of focus today, but even before we connected personally, I was an admirer from afar, and just enjoy watching you sort of live and breathe this stuff in your own unique way.
Thank you so much, and it's great to be on here. I'm excited about this segment.
All right. So I have a lot of basketball cards and baseball cards and football cards, right? And what I wouldn't give to be able to get the ones that are worthy of being PSA or whatever the grading is, getting them graded. What you have unpacked here, no pun intended, has me beyond excited, right? Fight repacks. And for somebody like me, right, conceptually, bro, this is the dream, right? So let us dive in. We do want to talk to you a little bit about UFC 326, but please dive into fight repacks and what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very excited about it. It's done tremendously well the first week. So we did a partnership with collectibles.com. They're a massive company with tens of millions of dollars in inventory of everything in the collectibles industry. We're talking memorabilia, cards, signed jerseys, footballs, pretty much everything you can imagine on the collectibles.com website. We did a partnership with them because, as you guys know, there's just not a huge popularity or even money, candidly, in the MMA space when it comes to cards. You know, football, basketball, baseball is massive. You have cards that trade for $100,000. You got a $2 million LeBron James card. I mean, it's insanity. And then the biggest UFC cards you'll ever see, you're really not approaching more than $100,000, and typically they're in the couple $1,000 range. So I'm a believer that MMA and UFC cards primarily are going to be on the rise long term. I think it's a very big buy low spot right now. I know this fan base are diehard. There's really not a better fan base in all sports than UFC and MMA fans in general. So I think the card market is going to take off long term. I think we're very early in it.
Yeah.
I love what Fanatics is doing in the marketplace right now as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very bright future. But what we've done with homeofightcards.com, it's a redirect that takes you right to the collectibles website. Basically, it takes away the pain points of buying a pack of cards and not getting anything that's graded or of any significant value, which we see all the time in UFC cards. If you buy a pack of cards, you might get $2 cards, $3, $5 cards. With this website, homeofightcards.com, you can go on there, make an account. You pay $60 and you're going to get a card of value no matter what. So you might get a card from $30 all the way up to $1,600, $1,700. So for me as a gambler, now this is not gambling to be clear.
Dude. No,
I'm not allowed to say that, but to me as a gambler, I love it because, you know, you might pull a $30 women's MMA card. You might pull a Sean O'Malley signed $1,700 card. So that rush and that chase to me is amazing. I absolutely love it. And I have a lot of friends that really enjoy doing this. But the nice thing about it is when you buy a card on the website, the worst case scenario is you get like a $30 or $40 card. So you're having fun. Maybe you take a small loss, you sell it back, you try again. But once you get a card that you like, you have a few options. You can sell it back at 90% fair market value right to the collectibles site, cash in your pocket right away that you can withdraw to your bank, or you can buy a new card with that cash. Option 2 is you can ship it right back to your office, your house, wherever, so you can actually hold and feel the card. And then option 3 is you just keep it on your profile. You're still the owner of the card, but it's in a digital vault, which is what a lot of people like to do. Is just keep it online. It's like on your Instagram page kind of thing where, you know, you have something that you own, but you don't physically have it in your hands. So I have like 5 or 6 cards in my digital vault right now. I have a Conor McGregor. I have a Dustin Poirier. I have a Hamzat card. So I'm keeping some of them, but I like the game of selling them and trying to pull a better card every time.
That is awesome.
A new card.
So so a lot of these cards are going to be worth $30 or $40, right? Like you might get a Juliana Lima or a Jon Anik card, for example, which would not amount to a great draw, but you could get John Jones. But you rip it, and within 7 days you can sell it back. And Kenny, I think for me, right? And again, I'm not doing this excitedly because I'm getting a cut, right? Like for me, when I think about the ability to have the physical card, to potentially keep it in my digital vault, I might try to get the Khamzat Chimaev card from you. This is just very exciting to think about a card being graded already at sort of the final stop. And when you think about MMA being in its relative infancy when it comes to the card game, a lot of these things could be worth a lot of money long term. So homeoffightcards.com, it redirects you to collectibles.com. So we're gonna do some we're gonna rip some packs open today, aren't we?
Let's go.
All right. So Kenny and I each have an account at collectibles.com. Homeoffightcards.com is your redirect. So Cody Merrow, our esteemed live producer. By the way, I gave Cody a bonus this week. He didn't even thank me, Kenny. It was with my own money. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that fucking later.
Take those
let's
cards
open
away.
a pack. Are we opening my pack or Kenny's pack first, Cody?
This is you, Johnny.
All right, let's go. Let's go. And you know what? If it's Juliana Lima, I'm going to give her a big
I hope
hug.
you get a good one, bro. On my live show, the first card I pulled on my live show was like a $30 card. I'm like, at least they know it's not rigged. At least I'm not showing a $1,500 card pulling live. But
all right, so this is my first fight repacks card. Opening now. A lot of suspense here. And if you are watching on YouTube, you're seeing what it is right now. I mean, can you imagine if this is a draw? I'm gonna like pull the headset out.
Tito Ortiz.
Tito.
So
The
it's a PSA
wordsmith.
10. It's a PSA 10, which is good news.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Not a bad first pull.
Yeah, not a terrible draw. Not a terrible draw. The Huntington Beach bad boy. You know, I was sort of marinating on the live roster. What do you think about the Tito draw? You think that's good? I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll
an
put
OG
that one
right
in the
there.
digital vault. Yeah, no, of course. All right. So do I want to keep it? Or
You can
sell
keep it. If you sell it, you're gonna get a little over $50 back after fees. But you can.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I mean, this is like my my virgin fight repacks card. So I think we got to keep this thing. I'm gonna stop collecting fucking records, Matty, or MattyBets. I'm gonna stop collecting vinyl records and buy these instead. So all right.
So you have up to 7 days if you change your mind. So you have 7 days to sell back the collectibles. A lot
What
of
do you
people
think
sell,
I should do?
I think. See, I like to sell back and go for gold. So that's just my style, though. Like I want to pull like
What does that mean?
300.
Sell it back and going for gold. What does that mean?
Like
exactly?
if I want to try to get a card $300 to $1,500 range when I'm playing, but that's just the gambler inside of me. So
all right,
it's up to you.
But really, you're going to tell me later to put 150,000 on Charles Oliveira? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not actually.
All right. Ken Flo, the floor is yours, my man.
What do we got here?
Oh, this is exciting. It's exciting.
Come on.
This is for me, this is just the most exciting stuff. We are going to do this every week on the Anik Florian Podcast, by the way, which is just beyond exciting. This is not gambling. It is not gambling.
Not gambling, no. Oh, there we go.
We got an Andre Muniz.
I was just looking at the dollar amount. It's not the craziest name value in the world, but it's a very highly graded card. A PSA Prism at $90. That's actually a very good offer to sell.
Sell that.
I like that.
Dude, they're giving you a good offer, man. They're offering me 54.
Yeah, see,
89.
See if I trade that in, then I can see if I can get something else, right? Just kind of.
Yeah.
I like how there's like an insurance policy built into these, essentially, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I love that.
That's a great offer. $89.
That's pretty solid. I would sell it.
Yeah. So
you want to
sell it, Kenny? You want me to sell it?
Yeah, let's do it. See what else.
Sell. It's Jim Kramer. All right, so we each are going to get to rip one more pack today, which is just so exciting. I'm going to spend so much money on these cards.
I have friends that have spent thousands. Like, they're not even doing it to support Home of Fight. They're just literally addicted to it.
That's awesome.
All I want are cards that are graded and that I mess up the condition.
Yeah.
And no, I am no longer a vinyl collector. If anybody wants a Keith Murray or Il Al Scratch vinyl, they'll be for sale on discogs.com. For now, though, Cody, would you like to open another one of my packs, or are we going Ken Flo? Oh, let's hit Kenny again. Let's hit Ken Flo again. Let's see if we can do better than fucking Andre Muniz, all right? Oh, every week, Jay, every fucking week. Oh, come on. Come on. It's going to be a
I'll get a drum roll sound effect.
It's going to be a one.
We need the Bruce Buffer. It's time. That would be sick.
Yes. We got Shara Magomedov.
I wonder why the
bullets.
relative valuation, Matty, is so low, 45.50. That seems like a good draw, no?
That's
That
one.
could go up.
That's a PSA 10, and that's a good one to hold if he can make a run.
I'm gonna hold that, son.
Yeah,
I got a sharp bullet eye going today, by the way. You see that?
Yeah, dude, what happened? Did Jay land a left hook? What's going on?
It was my son Hunter. I sneezed, you know.
Shit.
I wasn't going to show everybody, but sharp bullet came up. So homeoffightcards.com if you want to get in on this initiative. Kenny, what are you going to do with sharp bullet? You going to hold it back?
I'm going to hold that, dude.
Right.
I'm going to hold that. Yep.
Like I'm holding on to my Tito Ortiz. I'm going to see if Dana White wants to purchase my Tito Ortiz. All right, Cody. Cody, what do you got for my second rip of the day? This is life-changing stuff for me. That is not hyperbolic, too. All right, let's go. I think it's going to be a woman. I think it's going to be a woman. Let's go. Give me an active fighter on the roster. Give me an active fighter. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what?
This is where it's crazy is the name value is high, but the card is low. At least,
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
insane.
Yeah, so the card is like a world-class piece of shit, Ken Flo, but it's the greatest MMA fighter of all time.
Yes.
So I have a buddy that told me, he said, you can get a $5 LeBron James card or you can get a $1.5 million LeBron James card.
Yeah.
So it's really just the name value is obviously only one component of it. It comes down to so many other factors.
Right.
But very cool card nonetheless.
The chase is real. I understand it's not gambling, but I feel like I just sort of went through something similar. So I put $150 into a vending machine for an authentic jersey that's not even real. So this is real. So congratulations again. I know your brain is always spinning on the business front.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Anything
We're very
else
excited
on
about it.
repacks before I ask you a little bit about UFC 326?
Say it one more time.
Anything else on the repacks front before I ask you about this?
So the last thing I'll say, if you guys go on the site, you can see everything that's available in inventory. So the biggest card on the site right now, I believe, is a Sean O'Malley signature. I want to say it's a rookie card. It might not be, but it's a younger card. That's $1,650. But if you guys scroll down when you go to homeoffightcards.com, you can see all the different cards. There's a Habib card that's valued at $650. I think a GSP card at $650. So you basically go on there, you can see all the different cards that are basically see what your upside is. Yep, right there on the screen. You got GSP, Habib, O'Malley. Oh, wow. There's a new potential hit. There's a Hamzat card they put in stock in the top left at $1,500. I think that's brand new. You got Patty.
I'm going to get
John
that GSP
Jones.
card. I'm going to get
Say
that
it again.
GSP card. I want to get that GSP card. That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get.
I mean, there's a lot of cards of significant value in that 200 to 1,500 range on there, so that are all in stock. So it's just the luck of the draw.
And if somebody wants to buy my Tito Ortiz card, I'm going to send you a bunch of other stuff as well. No, I'm not going to do that. All right. MattyBets, home of fight repacks, homeoffightcards.com. UFC 326, Holloway v. Oliveira II beckons this weekend. I know it's 6 days out. The inconvenient truth for Kenny Florian of this podcast is that he has to give all of his picks 6 days out before he's let anything from fight week in. But that's your reality today. So I'm just curious what your early look is at the fight card this weekend, brother.
Yeah, the main event's super interesting. But I actually have an underdog I love on this card. I was just looking at yesterday and today, and I'm blown away that he's a dog. It's Drew Dober here at plus 120. I was absolutely shocked that he's not north of a pick'em and a small favorite in this spot. You just look at his competition. He fought Manuel Torres, Gene Silva, and Renato Moicano in 3 of his last 4. And then you just look at who Michael Johnson has fought. Zell Huber, Azaitar, Darius Flowers. Johnson's 39 years old now. Drew Dober has found finishes in this spot, even if he's down on the scorecard. So I think there's a world where he can get a KO TKO here by round 2. I think he's also live on the scorecard here, just doing more damage. So I think plus 120 is a massively good spot here. And then I like RoboCop as well. He's a little pricey at minus 200, but I think it's a very good revenge spot. He looks to be in incredible shape. I do think there's a world where he would either win on the scorecards or maybe even a sprinkle round 2-3 here. We saw Brunno fade against Abus Magomedov in round 3. I could see something similar here. RoboCop has to stay safer early, unlike the first fight, and I think he can wear this guy down in rounds 2 or 3, maybe get a late finish. So I would say those are two of my favorite plays. I'm big on Max Holloway in the main event, but Charles is looking scary, and it's tough. It really is tough. I think Holloway's getting a little pricey here on the money line, but I do think I do think he'll win this fight. I just can't. I'm a prop better, and I can't get there mentally on like, is it a decision or is it a KO TKO here? So I'm really struggling with that component of it.
And one of my favorite things that you have done in the past, forgive me, I don't know if you're still doing it weekly, but a 3-leg parlay in which you're giving out a decision fight, a knockout, and a submission. Are you still doing that weekly?
Yeah, so I call it the cycle parlay. Yes. Similar to baseball, you hit a single, double, triple, home run. The cycle in UFC is just decision, submission, and KO. And it's, to me, one of the most fun things to bet on, but it is very volatile. I mean, I'll hit one, and it'll be like 3 to 5K to win 100 grand, but then I'll lose 15 in a row. And that's what bettors don't understand. These are huge long shots. It's hard enough to pick 3 fighters to win. Picking 3 fighters by an exact method, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So we haven't hit one in months now. So it's been a slow start this year. I'm hoping we're gonna hit one maybe on this 326 card, but I've been a little bit cold starting out here in the first couple months of the year. But I do think this is a solid card here to pick a cycle parlay. Now, most of the props and the outcomes usually aren't out till Wednesday or Thursday, unless you kind of look in the offshore market. But typically in the U.S. market, it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, too. You can even see those price points on the KOs, the decisions, and the submissions.
Yeah. Well, I like what you've done on the money line front. And if you do like Drew Dober, you may want to tail this guy now because it seems as though that money is moving quickly. And, dude, RoboCop, 9-3 in the UFC. I do think he's a little bit of a dark horse in a division that,
for sure,
needs title fights and quickly. But all right, MattyBets, my man, outstanding job. We got to get this guy back. We got to get this guy a regular spot. I mean, if I'm Ian Parker might get fucking fired today. Hey, hey, have a great week. And I know you're not going to be on with us every single week necessarily, but we can't wait to rip open some of these fucking things next week. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. See you later.
All right, there he is. MattyBets with us live on the Anik and Florian podcast. I just wanted one active fighter. I got Tito Ortiz and Anderson Silva. What are you going to do? But we will be ripping open some packs later in the month, including next Monday live on the program. All right, real quick before we get to Ray Longo, new game changer for me in the coffee world, folks. So for busy mornings, workouts, your everyday routine, and everything in between, you need coffee that works as hard as you do. So to that end, I have been loving this Throne Sport Coffee, backed by the legendary quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Throne Sport Coffee is functional, better-for-you coffee made for active, on-the-go lifestyles. Each can has 150 milligrams of natural caffeine, natural sweeteners, and 100% of your daily B vitamins. The lattes pack 10 grams of protein, and the cold brews are low sugar and dairy-free. Now, for me, as many of you know, lactose intolerant, I love that there are multiple dairy-free options. Right now, I'm staring at this premium charge cold brew, vanilla bean, dairy-free. It's got only 50 calories, just 8 grams of sugar. That's all natural, by the way. And I like drinking out of the fucking can, too, if I'm being honest. Throne Sport Coffee is even NSF certified for sport. Huge credibility for athletes and anyone mindful about ingredients that you're putting into your body. You can find Throne Sport Coffee in retailers nationwide, including Casey's, Quick Trip, and Whole Foods, or online on Amazon, Walmart, and their website directly, sportcoffee.com. Throne Sport Coffee. Get going. Keep going. All right, somebody answered the bell early. Not exactly on time, but early enough. Let's get to the start of the program in the Ray Longo Minute.
It's now time for the Ray Longo Minute.
I want you to punch a hole in this fucking chest. That's what I want.
The Ray Longo Minute. Starring Ray Longo. The Jon, Anik, and Kenny Florian Podcast.
Look at him. Look at the motherfucker. That's what I'm talking.
And now being told breaking news that Ray Longo indeed was on time, right on the screws, 11 a.m. Eastern. Good morning, sir.
Well, what were you watching? Reruns of the Karate Kid? What's going on, Kenny? With the
the bandana?
Yeah, I feel like John Kreese on this podcast.
So this is sort of a congratulatory measure to Jiri Prochazka. He gave me this in our last fighter meeting. It says, let's go for that. Let's go for that. And he's fighting Carlos Ulberg for the title. So, yeah, it was a nod to Jiri.
Nice. Very nice.
He's switching it out.
Put the bandana back on.
So, Raymond Peter Longo, joining us live for his weekly Ray Longo Minute. We have a lot of things to get into. What? Why you shake? What are you doing?
I'm digging what you're saying. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So,
are you?
I mean, do you want? So I called Jason Anik, my twin brother, last week, and I was like, hey, I really appreciate Cody's work during the transition. I'm now realizing Nate Bronson should have gotten 500 of this, but so I called Jay. I was like, can you just give Cody $1,000 out of my money, like not from Kenny, just, like as just a gesture, because I appreciate Cody's work during the transition. And he didn't even thank me, I mean, I don't know.
No respect.
Translation.
No
but,
respect, man.
Anyway. So I don't know if you need a bonus too, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so we have a lot of things to get into, Ray. Lex Pereira has vacated the light heavyweight title. It looks like maybe he could be fighting Jon Jones at the White House. That's sort of the lead story. I don't know if you have anything for us on that.
That's the fight to make, man. That would be great if it's true that they have. Somebody said they were going to announce the White House card, but they haven't yet, right?
I believe this week we will get some sort of announcements.
So you're hearing through the grapevine, it's Jon Jones and Alex.
So what'd you call him? Alex. Sorry. So
you say Alex, I say Alex. That's cool.
Alex. By the way, we got to send you cases of our new sponsor, Throne Sport Coffee, because you're a cold brew guy, bro.
That should have my fucking name on it. Come on.
I'll send you what you want. They didn't want to sponsor the Ray Longo Minute. Where's your fucking chicken pound already?
Holy shit. Come on.
All right. You be excited. I'm going to fire Ian Parker live on the
air.
I'm serious. Man. I'm actually serious. If he doesn't bring it today, he doesn't even know that this is his last shot. MattyBets just absolutely.
He's watching right now.
Oh, he's listening.
35 listeners waiting in the wings to try to handicap on the show. We'll see how it goes for the Duck today. So, how competitive do you think a fight is between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira? And to what degree are you concerned about the potential weight discrepancy?
I'm not worried about it, but weight discrepancy, they're both kind of coming up from the same weight. They both have similar.
No, John's coming down. John would be cutting or very close.
Wait. What's the weight's at 205?
No, heavyweight.
Heavyweight. So
Lex would be trying to, I think, put on some, not that you add muscle mass emergently, right, Kenny? But no, I mean, I think there were some rumblings, right, that in a perfect world, I think you could have done Pereira Jones at 205, but Jon Jones ain't making 205 pounds. But now you have the issue of a potential belt on the line. But no, I mean, what's Alex Pereira going to weigh? 225, 230 pounds, and Jon Jones going to weigh 265?
He could easily weigh 240, I would think. I mean,
Jones?
I'm saying Pereira. He's got to be walking around at 235. No, he's not.
Also, for Jones, I think he was heavier against Cyril Gahn and said he wanted to come in a little leaner. He came in a little leaner against Stipe and, said that was a better weight for him. He said he felt a little too heavy. So I imagine he'll probably come in a little bit lighter as well. He'll probably be around that 240, I think, weight limit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They both have big frames for 205.
Yes.
Crazy that the other guy was fighting at 185 at one point, but that should I think that's what everybody wants to see. So that sounds great. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. I think there are a lot of you could see that Ray's a lot more excited about this, obviously, right? Yeah, no, I get it. So the welterweight division is absolutely fascinating, right? And I think one thing that's good about having a lot of former champions who maybe don't defend the title, like Bilal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena, is you give opportunities to guys against former champions, and there are no easy fights whatsoever, right? And Jack Della Maddalena was able to avoid that Leon Edwards fight and the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight, and the line for him to get the championship opportunity. Now Carlos Prates is coming to Perth, And Jack is as well-rounded. I'm going to start with Kenny on this as any fighter in the sport. But my thesis statement on Prochazka right now, Kenny, is true to his moniker. He's an absolute fucking nightmare. And best of luck to any welterweight surviving 25 minutes against this Brazilian problem.
We hear it all the time. Styles make fights. And I think that it's that aggressive style that's going to bring out the best in Jack Della Maddalena, because he is the ultimate counter puncher. So I think that when you get a guy who's going to move forward, who's going to be aggressive, I think that's going to bring out the best in Jack for that reason. And I don't see that one going the distance. It's either going to be Prochazka or it's going to be Jack. One of them is going to be sleeping. That's just the way I see it. And I think those guys are made for each other, and can't wait to see it. I think that's phenomenal matchmaking.
Yeah, matchmaking on point with that. Again, you're going to see two guys most likely fight in a range that they're both really good at. And that's the beauty of the fight, I think. I think it's going to be an exciting fight for that reason. It's not going to be somebody taking down Jack and laying on him. These guys are going to go for it. Jack, great counter puncher. Prochazka, man, he's long and lanky. I might not be the easiest guy to counter because of that. I think he'll have obviously the length advantage, I believe. But man, that's a great fight. That's just that's an exciting fight. One way or the other, and you have one guy really on the comeuppance, and Jack was doing great, but he got derailed in kind of a serious way. So mentally, he's got to get back on track. And Kenny, who knows? He could have spent all this time correcting the wrestling aspect and forgot about his stand-up. And who knows? I don't know. That's a fun fight, though. That's going to be a great fight. Yeah.
Seems as though Ian Machado Gary has the inside track for Islam Makhachev, and a lot of big fights. Sean Brady fighting Joaquin Buckley. Gilbert Durino Burns going to Winnipeg to fight proper Mike Malott. So I talk often, Ray, about how hard it is to be an elite MMA fighter. And we have some Aljamain Sterling stuff that I'm going to get to in about 5 minutes, right?
I'll get to it. Yeah, well, without a doubt. Yeah.
But when you think about his bantamweight prime and how maybe relatively underappreciated his body of work is, I mean, I think Aljamain Sterling is definitely a UFC Hall of Famer, and history is going to look back fondly upon what he has done. But it's really hard to be an elite fighter. And when I think about Tom Aspinall right now, you got to be really mentally tough to tune out all the noise that is John Jones versus Alex Pereira. Right. When it's like maybe or maybe not, he's being asked to vacate and the double eye surgery and seemingly not getting the benefit of the doubt from a decent chunk of the fan base, right? I mean, sometimes you can feel like the world's caving in. And, for me, I'm 47. When I was 33 doing this, it felt like the world was caving in. Now I'm old and much more comfortable, but I just think it's
interesting.
I don't know. I just think it's very hard, Kenny, being an elite fighter. I know you dealt with it at times. Am I getting the title shot? Am I not? Right? It's just brutal.
No, 100%. A lot of the stuff that happens outside of the octagon is way more difficult than anything else. And there's a lot of stress involved with, signing that contract and just getting that fight done. All those things people do not realize. There is a lot of pressure on these guys. No question.
Yeah. Plus, Kenny, go ahead. Plus, Kenny, it's your eyesight too, and you're not getting any sympathy from anybody. It looks like. I mean, the guy got illegally fouled, and again, he's the bad guy. For what reason would you make that guy the bad guy? Because he had eye surgeries now. Like that's got to be really hard to go through. I don't know.
Well, that's why we're giving 30 seconds of sympathy, right? Because you think about all possibilities and how are they going to get John Jones and Alex Pereira to fight for a belt at the White House? And I think the easiest path is to see if Tommy might, vacate and then come back and fight the winner.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that happened with Aljo. When he fought Piotr Jan, when he got hurt, it was like he was the guy who got fouled, and everyone hated on Aljo. So. Yeah, it's tough, man, for a lot of different reasons. Yep.
Yeah, I just think it's the way people want to push the narrative because, I don't know. I mean, why address it like an illegal foul, right? You want to kind of brush that off because you don't want like a black guy on the sport. I think that's the other problem. So they can't go into it too much, because the more you go into it, the more you highlight you have problems in the sport. When people are getting poked in the eye, people are getting detached retinas. I don't know. So I think the one method is just to bury it and move on, which sucks.
Well, and what if Tom Aspinall is ready to go on June 14th, but maybe John Jones doesn't want to negotiate that fight with the UFC? And
then
clearly
John Jones should be out then.
Well, yeah. Conversation potentially for another day. We do have some sound and video from Aljamain Sterling. And when I have previously laid out a featherweight title shot case for this man, I think sometimes maybe it has fallen on deaf ears because of the presence of Movsar Evloev or because of your presence on this show. But this is what Aljamain Sterling had to say to MMA Fighting after his win over Benson Henderson at the American Freestyle Wrestling event over the weekend. Here is Aljo on a hot mic about 48 hours ago.
Nothing yet. I saw that announcement, the Battle of the Bellasaurs. Good for those guys. They came over. Haven't really been able to do much since coming over the ship. And so I'm sorry, but that's just how the game goes. Sometimes these guys think they're hot shit, and they come over and they get a nice humbling really quick, right? So I've been doing this for a long time. Been with the company since 2014. I've been calling my shot, defending my belt the most in the bantamweight division, tied with a couple other greats like Merab Dvalishvili, consecutive title defenses. Give me my fucking shot. I deserve a shot at the title. OG versus OG. I'm smarter than all these dumb motherfuckers out there. Excuse my French, but Diego Lopez gets a fucking rematch and he goes out there and fights worse after actually doing decent in the first fight. It hurt him. And he can't figure out how to do a lateral step to cut off a fucking cage. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, I don't have knockout power. That's never been my game. I win with this. I'm smarter than a lot of these guys out there. So, like I said, I'm an OG of the game. Give me my fucking title shot. I'll put on a good show for the fans. I've been working on my striking, as people saw in this Brian Ortega fight. Give me my fucking shot. I've earned this. I've been around for a long time. I don't know what else I got to do. If you want to give me Yair Rodriguez, I'll fight him. You want to give me Gene Silva, I fight him. You want to give me Yusuf Zalal, I'll fight him. I've never turned down anybody. These guys have asked me for opponents who I want to fight, and then they give me somebody the complete opposite because they want to see me lose. That's my perspective. It might be different for them, but my perspective is you ask me who I want to fight, I give you a name, stylistic, good matchup for myself. You give me somebody else, what does that tell me? Oh, maybe I'm not the guy for the spot, but I keep proving them wrong. Give me a fucking title shot, I'm going to prove them wrong again.
Good for
Ray
Aljo.
Longo, I don't know that he could have laid out a better
100%. Good for Aljo. But look, man, I'm happy for Aljo. I didn't hear the end of that. I only heard the beginning when I first saw it. But he's angry. Why wouldn't he be? The guy, I'm looking, I'm not out there with Aljo now, but I did talk to him after the fight. I think this kid's amazing, man. He's staying in shape. He looks better than ever. I think he's getting better than ever. I think he's at a point in his life where, he doesn't have anything else to prove, and that's going to be a dangerous Aljo. But he's always still working in the gym, and he's right. He's very cerebral. He's a student of the game, and he's not going to step in the pocket and get, his eyes, his head knocked off to try to knock somebody else's off. And that's what they probably want to see. But that's it. What has this guy not done?
Right.
That he has to even get on there and get angry like that to get a fucking
Well,
fight.
I wouldn't say angry as much as I would say matter of fact.
That's a little edgier than Aljo's character. No, he's pissed. He should be pissed. They're freezing the fucking guy out. What is he, 36 now? Let him fight. He hasn't fought anybody. Give him anybody, like he said. There's no even mention of a fight, John.
Yeah.
Kenny?
So, please.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I think that Aljo should be in the conversation. Do I think he should get the next shot? No, candidly, I do not think he deserves the next shot. Obviously, he lost against Evloev. You have Lerone Murphy out there who's been extremely consistent, more consistent than anyone besides Evloev. Obviously, they're going to get it on, and we'll find out who is going to be the contender out of those two. But Aljo is right after that. And how do you not love the fact that he wants to go out there and face whoever it is, like whether it's John Silva or Yair Rodriguez, who has a big name. They were talking about him, but yeah, I don't think his name is being thrown around in the conversation. It absolutely should be in the conversation. And not after Evloev and Murphy, not before them, sorry, but right after them. And I think that with everything he's done in the 135-pound division and now with his improving skills, I think he should be in there. No question about it. And I loved seeing that passion from Aljamain Sterling.
Right,
and sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes that's what it takes to kind of go out there and kind of make that case.
Yeah, no, 1,000,000%. And I thought it was perfect, edgy enough to, whatever. But I disagree. That guy's a former champ, defended his title, did whatever they want, took the O'Malley fight when he didn't want to take it.
Right.
Give the guy his fucking shot. It's not about the whole shit about who deserves anything. Diego didn't deserve a rematch with Volk. What are we even talking about deserving? They do what they want to fucking do. It has nothing to do with who. It's not a meritocracy. They do what they want to do, where they're going to make money, where they go, whatever they have in their head. But they're freezing that kid out for a reason because they think he's going to win. That's my personal opinion. They don't want to give him somebody because Aljo's got a really good chance of winning. He might take John Silver down right away and submit him easily. Then that's another guy out. He might do this to somebody else that they have earmarked for promoting more because the guy's from Brazil or he's from Canada or he's from Australia. I don't know, but if you think it's a meritocracy, you're out of your fucking
No, that's
mind.
not what we're saying. Let me get in here for a second. So Evloev is the number 1 contender. Lerone Murphy is number 3. Yair Rodrigues is number 4. He is on the men. Aljamain Sterling is number 5. So, you could do Aljo versus John Silva in a main event, and hopefully you could expedite the process on that one because I understand that Aljamain needs to fight, right? Kenny, I would like to get your thoughts on this if I could, right? Because unlike Ray, you haven't fucking cornered Aljamain Sterling in every one of his UFC fights.
Well, hold on a second, but let me say one other thing, though, John. But, he went right through Calvin Kattar. The Mozart fight, you could flip a fucking coin, right?
I'm about to set up a case for a super fight between Volk and Sterling. You're going to want to hear what I have to say.
Okay, no, I'm just saying. But, John, think about it. Former champion. He's done great at 145. You could almost say he's undefeated. He hasn't lost. That Mozart fight. Like again, you could flip a coin over it. It's not the point. The point is his name's not even coming up, John. That's the point. It's not like where could we put him? It's like
so. Aljo's a little quirky, okay, right? And
1,000,000%.
Ray has even acknowledged as much, right? But aren't we all, right? I'm a fucking lunatic, okay?
I'll be the first guy to tell you.
Kenny, other than some quirkiness, right? I don't quite understand, as a tremendous fighter, finisher, handsome black man, why Aljamain Sterling wasn't a massive star for the UFC. I also don't understand, and I'm directing this to Kenny, why Volkanovski versus Sterling wouldn't be sort of a super fight that promotionally you could really get behind and build. I agree in a meritocracy. Movsar Evloev has the head-to-head win. Unfortunately, it wasn't all that long ago. Yes, it was close, but Movsar and Lerone are going to settle their business. That is who will be next for Volk. But yes, it does feel like a waste of Volk's final few fights to run it back with Diego Lopez when you could do the Aljo fight, right? So, Kenny, I don't know if Diego Lopez just moves every needle in Brazil and Mexico and is a top 15 company star, and that's why an Aljo isn't. But to me, given what Aljo accomplished at 35, given Volk's appetite for that fight, I don't know why that wouldn't be something that the UFC would be of an competitive nature to put together, Kenny.
Yeah, I think what Aljo has in his favor is the fact that Volkanovski has beaten a lot of guys in that division already. So I think he will get it, assuming he continues to win and maybe just one more. I think he can get it. Again, it's hard to know what resonates with fans or not. And I think that there's basically 2 ways that the UFC is going to make a fight. It's either you are a huge draw, so from a business perspective, it makes sense, or you are undeniable based on what you've done. And, a lot of times they're looking for a balance of those two when they don't have one strong option one way or the other. And, I think Aljamain, if he gets another big win, should absolutely get that next shot after Evloev and Murphy. So we'll see.
Yeah, and honestly, look, I'm just saying like what I believe. It's like they could run the business any way they want. I'm not really arguing. That's their prerogative, man. I don't want, like I always say this, I don't want nobody telling me how to run my business. I don't want to tell them how to run their business, but my opinion, 1,000,000% they don't want to give Aljo that shot because they think there's a good chance he's winning. And that's the issue to me.
Well, I think he'd be favored to beat John Silva. He's a human backpack. I think he'd be favored to beat a lot of these guys.
Yair as well.
That's why he's not getting the fight. I'm telling you. That's what I believe. Why not? He's been ready to fight for months at this point.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All very interesting. So Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey, Ray. What are your thoughts on that fight? Excuse me. It's going to be on Netflix. 5-minute rounds of mixed martial arts. Initially, when I saw the reports, I thought it was going to be boxing, and I was far less enthused than I am now. Now, say what you want about how close they are to their fighting primes, which would seem to be some distance, right? But the first MMA show I ever covered was in Tunica, Mississippi in 2007, and Gina Carano mangled Julie Kedzi's fucking face, and I was hooked from that point on. So nostalgically or otherwise, for me to see Gina Carano get back on the proving ground, to see Ronda Rousey back, to me it is highly exciting, perhaps because I'm an old man.
Yeah, and look, I've been, when I'm an older man, but you know what's happened? It's like there's a lot with name value. And these two have huge name value. I'm excited to see that fight. And I think it's almost like that wrestling thing, that Real American Freestyle, I think it's called. Dude, the name value that they bring, I wanted to watch that more than the UFC fights, because you had a lot of, I wanted to see what was going to happen with Tsarukyan, Aljo against Ben Henderson, great matchup,
Yeah.
So my point is, like, these guys brand themselves and they have name value. And that is really what's drawing everybody. I'm not, that card, if you looked at the Mexico card, I couldn't name 10 people that I knew really well off of that card. You know what I mean? So I like the Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey. They both earned their way as two women pioneers in the sport. And I think I'd be excited for that fight. I think it's great. I don't care how long they've been out for.
Ken Flo.
Yeah, listen, I'm excited for both of those pioneers. I think that they're going to make a boatload of money. I think they deserve it based on everything they've done. And, would I have liked to seen it many, many years ago? Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see it when they were both in their prime or close to their prime. But am I going to watch it? Yeah, I think that's one of those fights I would put in the interesting bucket over there, where I'm definitely going to tune in to see it. Similar to how a lot of boxing matches got made back in the day, when I remember it's like Hearns and Leonard, when they were past their prime, I still wanted to see it. They're still highly skilled guys, a little bit older, but huge names. And even if they put together something like GSP and Anderson Silva, even in 2026, I'd be like, I want to see that. Let's run it. So yeah, so good for them.
Yeah, give me Ken Flo versus Diego Sanchez too. Or give me Ken Flo fucking up Evan Dunham, the fight that got away.
That's right. Yeah.
It's Ken Flo against Joe Lazone. Let's go. When are we putting that together?
Hey, real quick, I'm just looking on DraftKings Sportsbook's application right now, the UFC 327 odds. We'll get to our UFC 326 preview coming up here in about 2 minutes, but Tatsuro Taira, Joshua Van, Ray, any idea who's the betting favorite?
Ooh, I'm gonna say that's got to be pretty close. I don't think there's a huge discrepancy, but I'll say Van's the favorite.
Ken Flo?
Yeah, me too, Van.
Tyra minus 192.
What?
I believe I said that. I repeat Brandon Moreno that he'd be favored against anybody in that division. Joshua Van plus 160 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Take Ken Flo's reaction for what it is worth. And then Prochazka, you think that's big. You guys think that's big news, huh?
Well,
I do.
Tyra's a big problem. That's what I think.
Yuri's definitely favored in that fight, no? With the Ulberg.
I actually know these odds, right?
Okay. Prochazka minus 142. Ulberg is plus 120.
Yeah.
So
and what is Van plus what?
Plus 160. But maybe it'll be going down after you guys.
Some good value there.
Well, after Kavanagh just beat Moreno, who you based everything on Tyra beating to be the favorite, I bet you it does go down to almost even.
Okay, we could take that offline.
That's my prediction. But I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying. I don't think the win holds up good after last night. The other night. That's all.
Dude, Kavanagh, I told you, Kavanagh is a phenom, man. He's an unbelievable striker. He ran into a very tough Charles Johnson, and Johnson's a beast too. But like, first of all, that division is the healthiest it's ever been. But Kavanagh is a special striker. I said even before he made his UFC debut, like his official debut, I was like, this is a guy I truly believe could be a belt holder in the future.
Yeah,
I think.
And I tell you, taking a last minute fight in Mexico,
yeah,
that's scary shit.
Yep,
that's scary.
Yeah.
Talented,
I know
man.
some people were surprised at how high Kenny was on Kavanagh previously, and even if you weren't alone, Kenny, but yeah, he looked fantastic this weekend. Hey, Ray, what does the rest of your Monday hold? It's 11:30 now. You can just go about your business. Anik Florian Podcast is done.
Yeah, he actually did me a favor. Yeah, I'm going to go back to bed. That's what I'm going.
Are you really? No. You got to get you some of that Throne Sport coffee. So, all right, well, next week,
dying for that, John.
We'll send you cases.
It sounds great.
Yeah. We'll send you
really
cases, bro. It really is.
It's good.
It's very good.
We hope you have a great day.
Kenny's had it already.
I've had it already. It's very good. Actually, it's funny. We have some people coming to the house who are doing some work, and they were like, "Hey, is that Throne coffee?" I had a case of it, and they're like, "Can I try that? I haven't tried that flavor." And I swear they left. I mean, they were loving it. So yeah, they got some new.
But yes, Kenny is the host of this show. I guess you're the star of the show, so you should probably get some coffee as well.
Holy shit, Kenny! I'm looking for a fucking cup of coffee at this point. What is that,
Ray?
If I had 2 cigarettes, I'd give you one.
And a better evening. Marlboro Medium.
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Have a great day, buddy. We will talk to you next Monday in the usual slot, okay?
All right. Let's go. Get Aljo a fucking fight, would you? I think the guy, how good did he look against Ben Henderson? Come on, man. This guy, guy's doing great. Having fun.
I want to see him fight Volk.
Fight should have already been made.
And you should have already left the building.
100%. Elvis has officially left the building.
Thank you, buddy. Ray Longo Minute every week here on the Anik Florian Podcast. If you would like to sponsor the Ray Longo Minute, that opportunity is available. Incidentally, Throne Sport Coffee chose to sponsor the show, not Ray's segment. DraftKings Sportsbook puts you right in the middle of basketball's biggest star-driven moments. You can bet player propositions, bet live, and when a game turns fast, DraftKings has your back with early exit if your player gets injured. Anytime in the first half, your bet stays alive, and once it settles, you still get paid in cash. Built-in protection. How about that for star-driven bets, all backed by DraftKings? All you need to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code AFPOD. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly with code AFPOD in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. All right, main event challenge, UFC 326. Holloway versus Oliveira II. Time permitting, we will allow Ken Flo to talk a little bit more about Moreno and Kavanagh. But now joining us for the main event challenge is the Ducky and Parker. It's good to see you, buddy. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was all right. You know, kids don't sleep, so I don't sleep. Mexico City card was entertaining. Kenny, great call on Kavanagh. Kid is special, man. I think we were all thrown off by that Charles Johnson loss to really understand his true potential. Even if he would have lost this fight, as long as it was competitive, his stock would have been through the roof. But he made it look easy in elevation on short notice. He made me look really stupid. So did Zellhuber, but we can get to that in another time. But man, good for that kid. Don't rush him to a title, though. Don't rush him too quick. Like, let that win settle. Give him like 1 or 2 more. Keep building that, man, because also him coming from outside the United States, you may have something really special here, really special. Don't fuck it up by rushing him into a title shot.
Yeah. So I don't even mind taking the blame for you not being here last week and our stars not being aligned. No, I'm not coming at you, but I did call out your parlay on the air and you weren't there to defend yourself. I don't know if you heard it after the fact, but it seemed very unlike you and very squarish to just trot those three out there. I don't know if it was because you couldn't be on the show, but it just seemed out of character, and you paid the price.
I did. I think the veins popping out of your neck are intimidating me right now.
No, I wasn't.
You're making me nervous. No, I'm kidding.
I actually like content-wise the way you seamlessly transition to the Kavanagh Moreno stuff. Like, I like the way you did that, and that's why I just chose to bring it up right now. But you had Zellhuber, Martinez, and Moreno, and it's
I did.
It's very chalky, right? It's like those Necco wafers, right? Just chalky.
Yeah, I tried to get value out of the three favorites I thought really should have won. You know, with Kavanagh, as good as I do think he is, I thought Moreno at home, getting a short notice opponent who's never fought that elite level, would have won a decision. Martinez, I was very much spot on. You knew how, listen, Cheeto Vera, win or lose, it's death taxes, fights go to decision with him. And with Zellhuber, I just don't know anymore with this kid, right? He's got all the skills, the ability. He does not listen to his coaches. It's like he freezes, and it's nothing against King Green, but you know what you're getting out of him, right? So you got to, and I guess just Green's confidence wins him fights, and he intimidates people. And this kid Zellhuber just doesn't have his mojo. So to answer your question, John, on a card that I felt was everything was 3-1, 4-1 favorites, I was trying to get some sort of value, and I figured I'd push all my chips in on the three guys I thought were going to probably win by decision. And instead, you know, Zellhuber got dog walked, and that was the end of that. But Martinez also, by the way, shout out to that kid. He's fucking good. Yeah. He's going to be something special too.
Yeah. No, that's nicely laid out, Kenny. I don't know if you have anything to sort of put a bow on anything relating to King Green or Zellhuber or Kavanagh or anything else.
In fact, I do. You know, I don't think Zellhuber has been the same since the Esteban Ribovics fight. Honestly, I think that took a lot out of him. It was a fantastic fight. But some people aren't the same after one fight, and you never know when it's going to happen. And yeah, I said it when we were breaking the fight down. I think he's too unreliable. I think for a guy with his skill level, he has a low-level MMA IQ, period. He just doesn't make great decisions on fight night, even though he's got a ton of potential. So that was unfortunate. And for Bobby Green, it's great to see someone like him still fired up to go out there and compete, man. Like, he was there to win. Zellhuber was there to compete. And there's a difference. And, Bobby Green with all of, his experience, and a lot of people have written him off, and he's had a kind of a roller coaster ride when it comes to performances inside the octagon. But say what you want about him, he always comes to fight and entertain. It was great to see a guy like that get a win.
Absolutely incredible, the longevity for King Green, still making big time money doing this, and we'll see how Kavanagh is match made moving forward after the big win over the former champion Brandon Moreno. All right, let us dive into UFC 326 live on Paramount Plus, and a little tickle on CBS this weekend. This first selection for us on the preliminary portion at bantamweight will be on CBS. Xiao Long -148. Cody Garbrandt +124. So Xiao, 27 years of age, boys. 27-10, 27-10 as a pro. A lot of those losses did come early in his pro career, Ian. He's 1-2 in the UFC. Promotion must feel some kind of way about him if he's getting a crack at the former undisputed champion, Cody Garbrandt. What do you have for us on this one, Mr. Parker?
I think this is one of those where the promotion's leading into a certain market they really want to go and get there with certain people that may draw eyes. And this is the litmus test with Cody Garbrandt. You can beat Cody, you're going to make the cut for when we push it into that market, put you on cards, and start being able to use Cody's name to blow you up a little bit. I kind of like Cody here, though. I think he can win this fight. I think if Cody can keep the standing and just get his head in it, I mean, this is still somebody that's been fighting top guys across the board. I know at some point Cody's got to he's going to end up hanging him up. He's going to get one really bad knockout against him, but I think this is a winnable fight for him still, if anyone on the roster. It's going to be interesting. The odds are a little weird for a guy who's 1-2 in the UFC. I guess the books really feel that Cody is just done and he's just a name at this point. But even when he's lost, he still has good hands, right? The loss to Figgy's just that much better at this point. So I'm going to take a shot on Cody here. I think as an underdog with these odds against someone who's 1-2 with who he's fought, I'm going to give no love some love here and see if he's got one more left in him.
Kenflo Cody Garbrandt is 34 years of age. He has fallen to 9-7 in the UFC. The back-to-back losses to Davison Figueiredo, more recently Raoni Barcelos. His last win was a knockout of Brian Kelleher, UFC 296, December of 2023. Right now, Cody Garbrandt plus 124, Kenflo against Xiao Long. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and I still think Cody Garbrandt is one of the most talented guys that I've seen in the UFC. I still think about his performance against Dominic Cruz as one of the most spectacular title wins that I've seen, especially given how good Dominic Cruz was back in the day. And, you know, he has it. I think the guys that have beaten Cody Garbrandt, it's been all Cody Garbrandt who's beaten himself. So I say so long, Xiao Long. I like Cody Garbrandt here. I want to see Cody Garbrandt in his vintage style. I think if he could stop the takedowns, I think he's got a great shot, not only winning, but winning by KO.
You think I was on one when I was saying the Cuban problem? Yadir Del Valle. Just wait till this weekend. Xiao Long, you staying. Xiao Long, you're going to be here, my man.
Oh, boy. The Cuban problem may have another problem. He made a certain someone prove our points across the board, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, but like the dad jokes, right? I said it on the weigh-in show. Like when I get pulled over, I say, no, you got the wrong Jew. Wrong Jew. You know, fighter wrong Jew. Every time I get pulled over, you got the wrong Jew. Sorry. All right. Main card opener in the middleweight division. Boanoich versus Bomgia. Gregory Rodrigues. He goes Rod, excuse me. Gregory Rodrigues minus 198. Bruno Ferreira plus 164. So Ferreira reps Curitiba. A lot of legends have sort of supported his career. He's now won 3 straight overall. Looks like he could be a budding contender. Last win, I think, pretty high-level win in unanimous decision over Marvin Vettori, the former world title challenger. And now he makes a relatively quick turn against Gregory RoboCop Rodrigues. Who do you love?
And it's funny because Brunno beat RoboCop already, right? Now the odds are still 2-1 favorite for Mr. Rodrigues. Rodrigues sounds so much better with Brazilian. That may take away from his mojo a little bit. It's kind of weird. Look, at the end of the day, if you were to match up their skill set and you don't look at that first fight, I think RoboCop, when he uses his fight IQ, has his cardio set, is a very dangerous fighter. He's got power on the feet. He's got a great coach in Daniel Mendez that has that striking a little bit more technical than what it once was. And his jiu-jitsu is good. And Bruno Ferreira is not the best, doesn't have the best takedown defense. The question will be if this gets out of round 1, whose cardio will hold up? I still think Rodrigues wins this fight. I think 9, maybe 7 times out of 10, Rodrigues is the winner. Bruno's got power, but I think Rodrigues still has not hit his potential yet. I love the win over Marvin Vettori. I picked Ferreira to win over Marvin Vettori, but there's still something with Rodrigues, the overall skill set. He doesn't show up in the big moments, but these fights he does. Give me RoboCop.
So you can remember back to the circumstances surrounding that first meeting. It was going to be Brad Tavares, and then Bruno Ferreira steps in for the short notice UFC debut. And not to suggest that RoboCop was caught off guard, but he has been a beacon of consistency for the most part, Kenny, in his UFC career. I mean, if anybody, can have a chiseled competition with a Taba Gautier at 185. I mean, as I was getting ready, I kept thinking about those two in the goddamn octagon. But 5 of 6 wins overall for RoboCop, right? He fought 3 times last year. Great response to the Cannoneer main event loss as he came back with the Jack Hermanson murder and then the win over Roman Kopylov. MattyBets is bullish on his chances. He's near 2-1 right now against Ferreira in the rematch. Ken Flo, go ahead.
Guys, I appreciate you guys are saying you pronounce Rodrigues, but now pay attention here. My name is RoboCop. Okay. Gregory Rodrigues, this guy, he's absolutely jacked. I think that sometimes he gets a little reckless. And if he is reckless in this fight, which at times he may be against Ferreira, he's got to be very, very careful. Ferreira definitely has big time power, but he's wild. And a lot of times you can see his punches coming as a result. And I think Rodrigues has to use his size, his length here, keep him on the outside and really box him up. He can't start brawling with someone like Ferreira. And, sometimes Ferreira does get gassed out there. Still dangerous, but he gets tired. So Rodrigues needs to come in shape. He needs to be defensively sound throughout. And if he does this, I think Rodrigues wins this one. So give me a Robocop.
All right, next up on the main card in the lightweight division, Michael Johnson -122 and dropping. Drew Dober now +102. So as most of you probably know, Michael Johnson was to face Alexander Hernandez last month in a bout that got scratched late. Now Johnson will make his 32nd UFC appearance alongside his teammate RoboCop. Ian, Johnson the favorite slightly, or Dober the slight dog for you? Who do you like?
This is a fun fight. Someone's going to the shadow realm and might not be coming back. Michael Johnson is not somebody, even now, who I want to fight as a litmus test. I don't. I've been saying this for a long time. He's usually up 2 rounds and then he dies, or he knocks you out at some point. I mean, his hand speed hasn't changed. He's got good takedown defense. It's funny, on The Ultimate Fighter, he was a wrestler when GSP took him first on his team, and he doesn't even wrestle anymore. And then you got a guy in Dober who, again, also has wrestling, doesn't use it, relies on his chin, but it keeps getting dropped, taking damage. Man, give me Michael Johnson. I just think the better boxing is the damage with Dober. Dober's getting steamed right now, which is a little interesting, probably because Johnson has been slept by other people. But, man, skill for skill, volume punching, Michael Johnson. I'm going with the menace.
Kenflo, Michael Johnson -122, Drew Dober +102, Dober 36. We talk about Johnson's UFC experience, right? 32nd start for him, 27th UFC appearance for Drew Dober. He has lost 3 of 4. He does have the most knockouts all time in this UFC lightweight division. We have 2 handicappers that are split on this one. Break the tie, Kenflo.
Yeah, it was interesting, because MattyBets seemed pretty convinced on Drew Dober, and he's absolutely right in that Drew Dober has faced the tougher competition as of late, no question about that. But I like this mature version of Michael Johnson. I think that he's fighting smarter, and I think he'll need to do that against Drew Dober, who is going to, get in his face, pressure him, look for the knockout himself. But Michael Johnson's a very good counterpuncher. And, if they're going to trade, I think Michael Johnson still has the speed to be very effective. Now, I don't know if he has the chin to withstand a lot of those big shots from Drew Dober, but just this version of Michael Johnson, I don't know. I feel more convicted on him. I think there's good value on Michael Johnson as well. So, yeah, going with MJ.
Kenflo's having a good show.
Well, thank you, sir.
Featured bout of bantamweight, Raul Rosas Jr. -218. I brought my Chihuahua shirt, and then I realized that he's fighting this week, and I can't wear it. But Raul Rosas Jr. -218. Imagine running into the fucking New England cartel, and I'm wearing my Chihuahua shirt.
Take your shirt off, kid.
Here would be like, bro. Anyway, Raul Rosas Jr. -218. Rob Font +180. So this fight initially slated for Noche UFC last September. David Martinez replaced Rosas Jr. He outpointed Font. But Rob has won 2 or 3 overall. Rosas Jr., of course, 11-1. He has won 4 in a row. Last win nearly a year ago against Vince Morales in Mexico City. Ian Parker, the floor is yours. Any strong feelings here?
I don't know. I don't want to say I'm a hater, but I'm not a big Rojas believer. I think a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. I'm sorry. He's not the first kid who's really good at jiu-jitsu to come into the UFC. Again, I think they were trying to hit a certain market, and he's had some favorable matchups. Are we forgetting how good Rob Font is consistently, doesn't really get finished? On the feet, Kenny, I know this one you're going to have to agree with me here. On the feet, it's not even close. Like, it's not even close. Rob Font is 1,000 times better on the feet, level of competition. If Rojas does not get him down and sub him in round 1, I could see Font winning 2 and 3. I don't think Rojas's cardio is all that great. Also, we haven't seen him in a year. I think it's the longest he's been inactive, if I'm correct. That's an interesting challenge to put on a very young, very confident dude who's been more about streaming on TikTok than fighting in the cage. I don't know why he's been out for so long. That's not even a knock. He's a young guy. The odds here, I don't think he should be this big of a favorite when he hasn't fought someone on Font's level. He may win this in a grappling match. It's possible. But at those odds, it'd be crazy to not take a shot on Font. I think he knows the takedowns are coming. It's not like Rojas is striking as a threat that he's going to disguise it. I think this is going to look a lot like the Christian Rodrigues fight. Give me Rob Font. How's my Boston? Was it all right?
I thought it was really a nicely done breakdown overall. I appreciate your ability to be critical of Rosas Jr., who I know has gotten a lot of flowers from me buying up all his merchandise. You can't even get those hats anymore. Kenny, what do you think about Rob Font, right? The only guy who I think rivals Kenny Florian is the best MMA fighter out of Massachusetts. What do you think about Font this weekend, plus 180 or so?
Yeah, interesting. I think Ian and I are seeing things in a very similar fashion so far. So not a whole lot of drama here, but I agree. Listen, I do think that Rosas is extremely talented as a grappler, but he's not a black belt world champion. He's not an ADCC world champion, and I think he's a developing fighter still. And this is his biggest challenge for sure. Now, I think the big question for everybody is, does Rob Font still have it? Is he still training like a maniac? Is he still developing as a mixed martial artist? I think he is. And if you go back and watch some of his recent performances, while maybe some of them may be controversial, his win over Gene Matsumoto and his win over Kyler Phillips, those guys are really good grapplers who kind of bring that similar pressure. And I think that it's going to allow him to let those hands go a lot more against Rosas because he knows he has such an advantage on the feet. So I think this is going to bring out the best in Rob Font. Listen, he does not want Rosas on his back, okay? But I think he's defensively sound enough with his grappling and with his takedown game where he can survive and be more effective on the feet. So if he can frustrate Rosas early, I think that will be a good sign. If he doesn't get off to a good start, I don't think that's a good sign. So, but I think there's enough value on Rob Font here for sure.
At Anik Florian Pod, who is the best UFC fighter to come out of the state of Massachusetts, Kenny Florian or Rob Font? Others receiving votes, Tisha Torres, Calvin Cater, Joe Lozon, but those would be wayward votes. Kenny Florian or Rob Font at Anik Florian Pod. All right, co-main event at middleweight. Caio Borralho minus 290, Reinier de Ridder plus 235. So de Ridder, Ian, plus 235 as he tries to respond here in kind after the main event loss to Brendan Allen. Borralho, of course, was 7-0 in the UFC before he was humbled by Nassourdini Mavov. That was 5 rounds last September. So compelling matchup, makes a ton of sense. We need a winner. Ian Parker, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think Kenny's going to agree with me on this one, but Borralho is going to kill him. I think Borralho is going to kill. I like to call this guy Gumby because he looks like one of those like floating car things with his body shape. Listen, RDR was extremely exposed against Brendan Allen. And I think Robert Whittaker was very close to getting it done. Listen, the guy's very big at the weight class, but he's not physically strong on the feet, which is interesting for a guy from where he's from, right? And his grappling just seems so slow motion. And he tries to use his size on top to overwhelm. Borralho is one of the smartest ones in the game. He was obviously flustered by Imavov, who is extremely underrated. Very underrated because he's not popular. Whatever. That's a very good loss to have, and I think it's going to pay off down the line for Borralho. And I think he needed to lose at some point to also get over this adversity and kind of restructure because he was getting a little too predictable with staying on the feet when he's also so good on the ground. This fight stays on the feet, Borralho knocks him out. If Borralho takes his fight to the ground, he finishes it in round 2 or 3. I don't like RDR's cardio either. He gets tired. His hands are low. His chin's up being a tall guy. Give me Caio Borralho. I don't even think this is going to be close, John. I really don't.
Appreciate the conviction. So Reinier de Ridder is an interesting case. A lot of high-level experience pre-UFC, Kenny. One of 3 two-division champions for one. He was extended by Gerald Meerschaert not all that long ago, but then obviously can lay claim to the win over Robert Whittaker, a fight that maybe could have gone either way. What are your thoughts on de Ridder here against, a high IQ guy? I guess in Borralho, the knock on him maybe is the lack of output overall, but other than that, man, seems to be a 5-tool player to me.
I think that at the elite level in the UFC, you have to have some kind of great athletic gifts. And I think that's what Reinier de Ridder lacks. He is a technician. I think he's a smart fighter, but he's not the most athletic guy. Borralho, he is. And, I would say Reinier de Ridder would have a much, much better chance of defeating Borralho if he had, some kind of world-class pedigree when it came to wrestling or judo, and he doesn't quite have that. And I think if he doesn't get this fight to the ground, I have to agree with Ian. I think he's going to have an uphill battle, start to finish. I think it will be an achievement if he's able to go the distance, honestly, against Borralho. But, John, you're right. The big knock on Borralho is he gets too comfortable out there, and sometimes there's parts of his fights that look like sparring matches and not fights. I think this is a fight where he can look very good if he decides to get aggressive. All that is going to be predicated on how confident he is with his takedown defense. So I think Borralho is a much better athlete. I think as a full mixed martial arts package, I think he's the better guy as well. I think Reinier de Ridder is going to have to do something crazy in round one to get a win. And he's going to have to get some kind of an early takedown to pull it off. But assuming he does, Borralho doesn't slip on a banana peel, I think this is a good fight for Borralho to go out there and look good. And I'm a fan of Reinier de Ridder. I like seeing guys like that succeed, but I don't think this is a good matchup for him.
Borralho, thinking man's fighter, as Ian alluded to. What are you laughing at, IP?
I love Ken Flo so much. He is the most, like, I will go out there and be like, this dude's not good. And Kenny's like, let's be honest, he's not very athletic. He doesn't move well, but he can. And I'm a fan, but he's just not there yet. Like this is the balance of Ken Flo and I. And just to show the difference between someone who is not a successful MMA fighter to someone who has fought for the title multiple times in their breakdowns. Like, I try to emulate the education and the knowledge. I just get so angry sometimes over certain fighters that have the abilities and whatever. And Kenny just has the most respectful fuck you type of mentality. Like, like I should have been like, yeah, his athleticism kind of lacks. I'm like, dude, this guy looks like Gumby. And Kenny's like, yeah, some guys are good athletes. Some guys are okay. He can be better. It's just, it's so nice.
Well, it's an art. It's an art to be critical in a thoughtful way.
And it gets to me. I love it.
All right, well, we're going to let Kenny lead us off on the main event for the BMF title to be contested at lightweight. Max Holloway minus 230, Charles Oliveira plus 175. First meeting between these two, Kenny, it was a main event in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada back in 2015. It lasted 1 minute and 39 seconds. That was win number 7 on Holloway's historic 13-fight featherweight streak. Both men have gone on to all-time greatness since. Say what you want about the relative thickness of this main card overall, but this main event, Kenny, has it all. Holloway, the favorite, Oliveira, the underdog. Who do you like?
Yeah, both men, of course, deserving of this opportunity. I think it is an amazing main event between two guys that have so many different skills in a variety of areas. And I think both are finishers, both are pressure fighters. Holloway can be more of a counter striker. I don't think Oliveira is that great of a counter striker. Really curious to see who leads the dance here as a result. I want to see who's going to be the aggressor in this one. If Holloway is the aggressor, I think that bodes very poorly for Charles Oliveira. I think Oliveira can maybe switch things up on the ground. I think he's so dynamic and so offensive minded that he can pose a lot of problems for Holloway, but Holloway is not an easy guy to take down. When you're talking about experience levels, both have it. I think Holloway maybe has it a little bit more when it comes to championship fights and, facing other guys that have an elite skill level where you have to execute a strategy consistently. Oliveira has shown that, no question about that, against elite guys. Holloway has just been more consistent in how he's done it. And for that reason, I can't go against Holloway here. I can't say enough about him to see where both these guys have come from to where they are now. Both are absolute legend Hall of Famers. But Holloway, for me, is just a cut above Charles Oliveira. Oliveira, perhaps more dynamic, maybe more ways to win, but Holloway just has a knack for forcing you into his fight so well. Master tactician. And for me, that really stands out between the two. I'm nervous about Oliveira's offensive capabilities, but Holloway, an absolute master executor when it comes to game plans and bringing the right tactics to the fight. So give me Max, the Hawaiian.
And he has been particularly sharp when it has mattered the most. Just an outstanding record across his UFC career in headlining acts. Max Holloway minus 230, Charles do Bronx Oliveira plus 175. Ian Parker, who do you have in the main event?
Yeah, Kenny kind of hit it on the head. I'll just piggyback with a couple of points, and I would actually be curious to see if one of Oliveira's game plans, I know this may sound a little weird, is to close the distance, tie up, and maybe even pull guard, right? Because I think, listen, off his back, although it's funny, off his back is not where he's best at his submissions, when he takes your back. This is why Islam, this is why, I think Poirier and Gaethje all messed up when they knocked him down, going to side. He's not strangling you from there. But for Holloway, he's fighting someone, Oliveira, though. Oliveira has got a lot of power in those hands. Then with the weight up, it could generate more power. I don't like that Holloway was essentially rocked by Dustin after the whole Ilya Topuria thing. Kenny, to your point, if Holloway's putting the pressure and unloading 2,000 strikes, Oliveira is not good off the counter takedown.
No.
Right? He's not good at backing up and shooting in. Holloway's got very good takedown defense. I don't think we've ever seen Holloway in someone's guard either. I would love to see what that looks like, even for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think Holloway again, you brought this up and you beat me to it. Holloway's had to fight fighters where he's needed to have a strategy. Oliveira really hasn't. You know what Gaethje's going to do. You know what Chandler's going to do. Dariush, the only one really was Islam. That's like, all right, even though he's going to take me down, his striking is better than everybody's. Holloway's had to really fight a lot of strong puzzles more in his career consistently. And I think, to your point, that is the deciding factor. I also think Holloway gets it done. If he finishes him, I think it's in rounds 3, 4, or 5, because Oliveira's cardio also is not the best we've seen. But I do think Holloway puts on a show here. And John, I like what you said. I'm excited for this fight, especially now in this point in their career. I think it has more value than it did way back then.
Well, and we still don't know exactly the genesis of that injury, maybe a shoulder, but
yeah.
My early years with the UFC, I remember calling that fight, and it was over before it started.
I was going to say Holloway did beat up Jose Aldo pretty badly when he got on top in guard. I mean, he was...
Oh, true. That was the other one. Yep.
I mean, he picked him apart there, positionally and with ground and pound. So he's no slouch on the ground. He is very underrated when it comes to his grappling. His coach is absolutely phenomenal. I think they're one of the most underrated coaching squads in the game right now. So, but again, it's going to be exciting while it lasts, man.
There is something else, John, on the line here that I do want to bring up real quick. I truly believe, after hearing about Prates and Jack Della, after hearing the rumors, I do think the winner of this will potentially get Conor McGregor as the opponent. I really do believe that that will be the case. Holloway said he would call him out if he won. Oliveira would be crazy not to.
Yeah.
With all the rumors circulating, to me, I do think that adds to the BMF thing. And let's also say it. The one belt Conor has never had that might want to bring him back is the BMF. And I would watch him versus Holloway. Him versus Oliveira is a little scarier because of the jiu-jitsu part. But I do think that is, and maybe I'm just as a fan here speaking, but I do think that brings another element to this main event. For anyone who thinks I'm trying to blow smoke to the UFC, I don't work for the UFC, so I don't need to kiss their ass.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I legitimately think that with the fake BMF title, the winner can get Conor brings that much more heat and kind of fun fandom to it.
Max Holloway and Conor McGregor fought in Boston in 2013. I would love to see the fresh matchup that is Conor McGregor versus Charles Oliveira. I know that Max is a different animal than he was in 2013, but I would love to see that. By the way, Jay, dude, I'm just noticing it now. Kenny knows exactly where I'm going with this because he's not wearing a hat today. Bro, your hair looks phenomenal.
Kenny's feeling good. Kenny's feeling good. He's looking good. Like he gelled his hair. It's that coffee. It's that coffee you guys
It's
are
thick
drinking.
again. I'm back.
It looks phenomenal. And full disclosure, like he didn't go where everybody else went in Turkey. So,
John, you know what it is? It's the blue chew. It's the blue chew.
No,
The blue chew.
Ken Flo. I mean, I'm sure because he's Kenny Florian, he didn't pay like full price. But no, Kenny paid. He wasn't looking for, and he didn't have to completely shave his. Dude, it looks. What is Clark think?
Thank you, man. She loves it. I mean, likes it a lot better than what it was before. So,
Wait, what did I miss? Did you get something done?
I went to Turkey, dude. I got.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got from the sign, the back of my head. So now I'm back. I'm back in the game, Ian.
I gotta be honest with you. I've noticed everyone else's. I've noticed everybody else's. Everyone else's. They got like the new fake mullet, the red like. Kenny,
everyone else looks like a fucking battleship board.
I did my research. Yeah,
I go to barbers and I say, I want this fade. Kenny went to Turkey and said, I want this. It was a picture of himself from 10 years ago. Kenny's like, I want me. Kenny, no bullshit, dude. I love you. It looks great. I did not notice the difference. I was going to say his hairline hasn't moved since our first episode like 10 years ago.
I mean, it's so on brand for Ken Flo to wear a hat for like 6 months and then all of a sudden, and it took me nearly 2 hours live to notice. All right.
Oh, man.
Place your bets brought to you by JonAnik.com, where you can get 15% off your show supporting merchandise with promo code One More Sleep. But as we always tell you, the best way to support this show, I mean, tell your mom, tell your dad, but to subscribe to the Anik Florian Podcast YouTube channel and to the All the Smoke Fight YouTube channel as well. All right, quickly, we update the Moreno versus Kavanagh betting results. Ian Parker lost his 3-leg parlay for $1,000 on Zell, Huber, Martinez, and Moreno. So that drops you down to minus $1,694 and change for the year. Kenny Florian told you it wasn't sexy, but man, did it deliver. David Martinez, straight wager, plus 387 and 60 cents. So that puts Ken Flo back in the black for the year, plus $204 for the year. The lead is roughly $1,900. Best part about these numbered events, you guys get $3,000 with which to work. Ian Parker, we will start with you. $3,000 to spend at UFC 326. Go ahead.
All right. Well, in the spirit of MattyBets being on the show, he is a long shot specialist. I didn't even know this was not planned, but I love me some Matty Tanner. Give me a parlay of Rob Font, Cody Durden, and Cody Garbrandt at plus 1304 for $300. Okay. If that hits, Kenny had his new haircut. Get in the back of the bus.
The Cody parlay, I like it. Yeah.
Listen, the only Cody I'm not throwing in there is Brundage. There's no shot. How does he fight on every card, by the way? I'm so confused. You got Aljo who's begging for a fight, and Cody Brundage on every card. It's dude, UFC math is crazy. It is crazy. By the way, you guys were phenomenal in that segment before. Ray's out of his mind. I love him. Another parlay. John, I'm going back to the well on the $1,000 parlay. I didn't like that I missed it last week. I'm going to do it this week. Give me Borralho, give me Robocop, and give me Deontay Johnson at plus 136 for 1,000. All right. I'm also going to take Robocop single-handedly for 500.
Okay.
I'm going to take Borralho inside the distance for 500.
Okay.
Where am I at total right now?
You have $700 left.
Beautiful. Give me Max Holloway to win over 2.5 at plus 105 for that remaining 700.
All right. So Holloway money line parlayed with over 2.5 rounds. Is that correct?
Plus money. That is correct,
$700. Max Holloway to win and that fight to go over 2.5 rounds. Nice job dispersing your money. Ken Flo, $3,000. We don't bet in Bitcoin. How you spending your USD?
Gosh, I like the way that Ian played that. Max value here. So I see some value on Rob Font. I'm going to sprinkle $200 by his name.
Okay.
Going to put $300 on Michael Johnson's name.
That's a good one.
And then we're going to go big on Borralho, $1,500. And then give me 1,000 for Max Holloway.
All right. There it is. See, Ken Flo not messing around on the straight wager front today. Ian Parker, any final word before we let you fly?
Yeah. And you could clock me on this. One, I'm happy for Aljo speaking his mind. Kenny said it best. He does not deserve a title shot right now. He's 2-1 since 2024. A win over Cater doesn't play out right now. The decision over Ortega doesn't get you a title shot with most far with Liam Roan Murphy. The only thing we'll say in Aljo's favor, he should be getting a fight. I don't think the UFC is not fighting him because they're afraid he's going to win. I also think that was a very interesting statement. There's no reason to be afraid of him of winning at this point. I think him versus Gene Silva, I love that idea as a main event. John, I believe you're the one who said that. Book that fight. Book that fight. Because if Silva could avoid the backpack and he knocks out Aljo, great. If Aljo wins that fight, then yeah, he's next in line after Lerone and most far, because everything he said about Diego Lopez true too. Jiri Prochazka, my Lord. guys, I'm coming out of retirement. I'm going to put on weight and I'm going to fight for the 205 belt by the end of this year because it is unreal, this revolving door that Jiri loses a title shot. And I like him. He's fun, but how do we lack that much depth that this remember what I said a couple weeks ago, right? I didn't like the redundancy, the recycling. I said Jiri after UFC 300, it was like him versus Pereira or Jamal Hill. It's crazy. It's really crazy to me on that one. And last but not least, I do think Tatsuro Taira should be the favorite in the Josh Van fight. I don't think we got any type of thing with him on the Pantoja fight. I think Tatsuro Taira's striking is good enough and his grappling is next level. I do think that he will become the champion. Early spoiler on that one.
Nicely handled. All right, Ian Parker, MMA, if you want more, my man, appreciate it. We will we'll see how you did next week, and we'll get ready for the next live event, my man. Thank you so much.
God damn, Kenny, you look good with that hair. God damn, I didn't even notice. Well done.
Thank you, buddy.
Kudos to that doctor. All right, later, boys. Love you.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, a little Tom Selleck vibes from Ken. Hair is phenomenal. All right, we got to get on out of here. Thank you to MattyBets, Matt Betts, Ray Longo, Ian Parker. Thanks to Cody Merrow, Nate Bronson, our entire All the Smoke Fight team, Jason Anik, everybody else. We are back with you to recap this pig UFC 326 Holloway versus Oliveira II coming up next Monday in our usual slot at noon Eastern. And we hope you all will ingest our live event coming up Saturday night on Paramount Plus and CBS. With that, for Ken Flo, I'm Jon Anderson. So long for now. We will see you next Monday. Until then, yo fucking later.